And when the BJP tells it is their right and they have a political space, agreed, Supreme Court has addressed it by telling that the local BJP can conduct the rally. And second thing is, when you have a right, you also have a responsibility to actually address the apprehension, because ultimately, if anything happens, the blame will come down at the floor of at the door of the CM. So that they cannot ignore that point at all. Now coming down to the name being given as Ganatantra Yatra, Ganatantra Bachao Yatra, and look at the word, the deeds and the words of the BJP ruling government. Where have they been talking about the Ganatantra? What about the preamble? The preamble consists of such sacred words such as secular, socialist. Where are they addressing all this at all? Which talk and which act of this has been addressing all this? And they have told...
No, but then my question is very simple. Dr. Sarwat, my question is very simple. While today it is being seen on the face of it, it is a setback for the BJP in West Bengal because the party had made grand plans and Amit Shah would have led from the front. The fact is, similarly, there have been multiple allegations that have been heaped on Trinamool Congress as well. Now, I want to take this debate out of the plane of just the Trinamool Congress and the BJP. Yeah. For me, it is a story which talks about the intrinsic nature of political parties and different constituencies that they try to address only to satiate their political gains. Dr. Sarwat, what is the big takeaway from what the Supreme Court has said today?
As a contested candidate, I would like to tell only one thing, always put a C regarding these so-called major and recognized parties. They only think that political party is and only about contesting elections and somehow any which way get into the assembly or the parliament or into the corporates. It's not that way. Your political party has a very big responsibility of bringing about positive social changes and also by having to see that the constitution and the rule of law is upheld. Now, where do all these political parties so-called recognized rank there? And second thing, very, very important thing, what is the poverty rate in West Bengal? What is the literacy rate? And what is the per capita purchasing power of the people over there?
Okay.
What is the environment?
Good point there. Dr. Sarwat, just stay on with us. Let me bring in, just a moment. Let me also bring in Professor Ujjwal Chaudhary once again on this. Now, Professor Chaudhary, the point is that, real issues somewhere get completely buried or overlooked.
Exactly.
In the middle of this political slugfest that takes center stage and which is only going to escalate going further considering the fact that elections are right round the corner. Professor Chaudhary, for you as a neutral observer, what are the lessons, while we say that this is a setback for the BJP, what are the lessons
to be taken
for Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress?
First of all, I'd like to note, agreeing to Mr. Chandrakumar Bose, that there is an undemocratic approach of the Trinamool government in Bengal. As far as the Panchayat elections are seen, there were a lot of violence during unleashed by the party cadre of TMC. So I agree with you, Mr. Bose. But what I do not agree is that only Rath Yatra is the way of expressing your political right, and you cannot do that with legitimate public meetings and rallies and peaceful public meetings and rallies. I do not accept that. The attraction towards Rath Yatra has started from the Advani's successful Rath Yatra, successful in the sense of making BJP the major party in the country.
But that worked for the BJP.
Yes, that worked for BJP.
That worked for BJP.
And that's why, and please understand, there was a streak of violence across the route when Advani had gone across several northern Indian cities. In case of Bengal, please note, after Ram Navami rallies, there was violence in Asansol. There were 3 deaths in Asansol. And there were several other areas where low-key communal tensions were there.
Right.
So the Supreme Court is justified because it has, on one hand, upheld the state government's right to maintain law and order and have a perspective on that, and also upheld the democratic rights of BJP as a political party.
And I do not think that there is any debate on that. But Mr. Bose, if I could bring you in once again on this, now taking a cue from what Professor Chaudhary is saying, that state government's right to ensure that law and order is maintained, that is unquestionable. The Supreme Court has reiterated that once again in no uncertain terms. Having said that, while the BJP has been asked to submit yet another proposal for another Rath Yatra that you might be planning, Mr. Bose, what are the things that you would be keeping in mind? Because the state government has cited intelligence reports, 38 intelligence reports have been cited by the state government, saying that all of these point to one clear agenda, that if the rally, if this Rath Yatra had been allowed, it would fan communal tension in West Bengal. While polarization of voters might work for political parties. In the end, it's people who end up suffering and paying the price. Mr. Bose.
Well, I'm sorry, Saurav, I couldn't hear you very well, but I would like to address this basically in 2 points. You see, first of all, this is not a Rath Yatra. This is Save Democracy Rally. Yes, it is a fact that initially we had used this expression Rath, which does not apply in the West Bengal scenario. And I think the suggestion was given by me to the leadership that we cannot have a Rath Yatra in West Bengal. It has to be Save Democracy Rally or Ganatantra Bachao Rally. That was rectified by the leadership. But Mamata Banerjee took advantage of the little error.
Was it rectified under pressure?
And she made it a
Was
big
it
issue.
rectified under pressure?
Yatra. It is not a Yatra, sir. Let's be
No,
very
it
clear.
was a Rath Yatra. We have seen what happened inside the Calcutta High Court as well, because this is a story where everyone has been very, very closely monitoring this Rath Yatra politics. But having said that, now you're calling it the Ganatantra Yatra. It is also being dubbed as the Chetana Yatra. Is that, what forced this change of name, so to say, if I may ask?
Bengal's culture, if I can say.
See, today in West Bengal, this Yatra was taken out to reach out to the people. Because the people of West Bengal, they now want Bharatiya Janata Party to take charge. Now the point is, polarization does not work in Bengal. If you know the history of politics in Bengal...
Okay, now that is an honest admission that polarization does not work in Bengal. That is an honest admission on national TV that polarization doesn't work in Bengal, and that is exactly the point that Mamata Banerjee was talking of.
Yes.
That look at what this rally will end up doing. This will end up in polarizing people. Dr. Lubna Sarwat, the BJP, says polarization does not work in Bengal, and that it is wrong to call it the Rath Yatra because the name has now been changed to Ganatantra Yatra.
She is trying to polarize. We are not. Let's be very clear on this point.
Okay, so BJP is saying that Mamata Banerjee is playing vote bank politics, that Mamata is trying to polarize. Fair enough, that is BJP's stated point of view. Dr. Lubna Sarwat, please come in.
I have only one thing to tell. I don't want to get into these pale words, of vote bank politics and all that. I have only one question to BJP and also to the Mamata Banerjee government there. See, when you talk about the Save Democracy Rally, and one straight question to both the party leader Amit Shah and also to the BJP unit of West Bengal. See, every one of you here in this panel will agree that the voter list is the crux of, and the adult franchise is the crux of democracy. So now, the entire India, in every state, none of the voter lists are purified. None of the voter lists are authenticated. Let them take up the voter list purification and authentication. There are so many manipulates and duplicates and triplicates, and there are so many frauds in the voter list. And when you enter into in spite of the EVMs being there, the elections are being conducted in such an unfair manner. Let them address all these. Is this actually a part of their agenda at all? No. Then what is Save Democracy? A mere name will not do. BJP.
So you're saying that when you talk of Save Democracy, how do you actually save democracy? Is it only by taking out a Rath Yatra? Professor Chaudhary,
I would like to point out...
Is that the only way to save democracy?
No, the issues of governance has to be taken to every doorstep. What BJP needs to do is to understand where has TMC failed in governance, identify those very specific issues and take to every doorstep rather than playing to communal tensions. On that, I would also like to alongside note that we have these very easy sweeping statements that Mamata is creating Muslim vote bank and BJP is creating Hindu vote bank. Let me also note, 30% of Muslims in West Bengal is a statement not yet corroborated by any census. 2. Support to Durga Puja and Ram Janmabhoomi rally was also done by TMC without the swords and the maces. 3rd, there have been deaths in Asansol after the sword-laden Ram Navami processions in Asansol. And 4th, public meets are still allowed by the Supreme Court. So where is the problem and why does it have to go into one particular way?
And that is exactly the point, and that is what the court has reminded Mamata Banerjee. Probably Mamata Banerjee will also take a cue. We had incidentally invited the Trinamool Congress also to be a part of the debate, but we didn't get any representative who's willing to come on the show.
Sad.
Though today would have been a happy day for the Trinamool Congress to tom-tom and do some amount of chest thumping. But having said that, the fact is that, and I would agree with Mr. Chandra Kumar Bose on that, that in the past also we have seen time and again when it comes to Amit Shah's rally in Esplanade in Kolkata, again the matter had to be taken to the court. Whenever there is a rally of the BJP, it has always happened that a law and order reason is cited, and that matter lands up in court, and many a times the Calcutta High Court has overruled, and we have seen Amit Shah addressing people of Bengal from the heart of Kolkata city, though the rally was initially denied permission. Having said that, Mr. Chandra Bose, quick 30 seconds, what would be BJP's blueprint 2.0 now for West Bengal? With this verdict coming in from the Supreme Court, and you know, the essence of the verdict seeping in, how does the BJP want to take this forward?
Well, we would reach out to the people of West Bengal because they are the ones who would finally take the call whether BJP would sustain in Bengal the increase in the vote percentage.
Right. So reaching out to the people of West Bengal, and that is where essentially the essence really lies. Be it the TMC, be it the BJP. We have completely run out of time on the broadcast. Just a moment. I'm sorry, we have completely run out of time. The fact is that today's verdict that has come in from the Supreme Court and its observations, one has to read between the lines, and it's imperative for both political parties, the principal political players, both the TMC and the BJP, to understand the key takeaways and ensure that the same mistakes are not repeated in future as well. Even so, if they're tempted to do it willfully yet again. I must thank everyone for joining me on the broadcast this evening. It was a pleasure having everybody on the show, but don't go anywhere, because up next is India Ahead at 9. My colleague Sana Khan joins you in just a bit. Stay tuned.